Okay, I think every time I'm going to start this, it's basically going to be the same. That framing will have to do. I've been messing around with this for long enough. Hi, welcome back. My name is Neha. I'm an artist living in Melbourne, Australia. For everyone that is new. But today, I guess, is another art slash studio vlog. So a couple weeks ago I was working on a new illustration and I've decided to put it on the back burner because it's frustrating me. Just my technical skill level is, I guess, not at the level I want it to be. This image here, so there's a blue snake and probably not easy to see the white, but there is a white outline of a skeleton of the same snake, and the skeleton is messing me up because snake skeletons are all spines and ribs and then just the shapes of it confused me a lot, but I think I got it reasonably okay. But just the spacing of the shape that I have simplified the spine into, I think is not really working for me anymore. But I don't want to start it again from scratch because I've redrawn it over and over and over again, trying to get the lines smoother and refine the shapes a little bit more. But I think I do need to just redraw the entire skeleton. I don't want to do that, so well, it's been like maybe a week and a half since I've touched this. I still don't really want to look at it right now because it's just a bit annoying. Still, like, I think the piece is good. It has potential. I'll hopefully come back to it at some point. But I guess the main chunk of this vlog will most likely be this new adventure, or a new fixation, because I haven't had enough of those in the past, and it's probably the reason why I have so many art supplies that I don't really use. But I really have been wanting to get into printmaking, stamp making, and like getting into using linoleum, because I think it would be fun. There are a couple of reasons why I wanted to get into it. I think the first one is like a lot of artists here on YouTube that have done a collaboration with the company No Issue and gotten their designs printed in mass form on pieces of tissue paper to use as packaging, as wrapping. That sounds fun. I want to do that, but I'd like to do it myself. So I thought I could create a tiling pattern on a stamp or a piece of linoleum and use that on relatively thin tissue paper and essentially make my own printed custom tissue paper, because I just think that would be fun, and it's something I can do here by myself, and I can control the production of it as well. But I was thinking I could use recycled materials that I already have at home. So for like this brown paper bag that I got at the art supply store, I can reuse this, but I can also print or stamp a design of my own onto it and use that as packaging as well. So, stamp making, printmaking. I have got some supplies from my local art store. One is this little box that's a little stamp making kit, which is very cute. It comes with a little blade for carving. It comes with an ink pad. None of this is in focus, it's fine. And it comes with 5 different stamps you can do. So 3 of these are around this big, and then there's one that is slightly longer. I'm thinking the longer ones will become like thank you stamps and please do not bend stamps. But these 3 I don't know, like I had all these ideas and then I'm like, oh no, I don't want to ruin it. So I don't know what my ideas are because it's final. Can't undo these on a traditional piece of media, which is a big problem, I think. Well, I have, and maybe others have as well. I hoard a lot of art material, and then I'm reluctant to use it because I don't want to waste it, I don't want to ruin it, and I don't think my skill level is high enough for me to justify using it. Also got some bigger bits of actual linoleum. I'm never gonna say this right. Linoleum material. So we've got two, I think these are A6, they look roughly around that size, and then one bigger bit, which I'm probably going to cut down, because I think for prints, I still think A5 is the biggest I can reasonably go. And that's obviously much bigger, but it's not quite A4 as well. So maybe I'll have like a thin strip left over that I can do something with. But basically, I've got a few artworks that I have made over the last couple of years that have really saturated backgrounds, like full color saturated backgrounds, and I'm so reluctant to make those into digital art prints because they will eat all of the ink that I have, because they're really bold, vibrant colors, and I am very cautious of using ink. Like, I've already gone through so much ink recently and I'm still just doing test prints of things, which is frustrating. So I was thinking I could use linoprinting as a way to kind of get around that, because paint is a lot cheaper than printer ink. What book is it in? And yeah, that's basically it. It's just that paint is a lot cheaper than printer ink. So I was thinking if I could print a flat solid color, just paint a flat solid color on the paper that I was using, then just use the lino cut as a stamp for the design on top. Either make the design white so that I could paint it on, or yeah, maybe just use it as a reduction or a lino cut stamp itself and just do layers as you normally would. I have used done lino cuts before, and that was back in high school, I think year 8, so 2007, gross. So I vaguely remember what to do. I just have a lot of memories of me standing next to the heater, draping the linoleum over the radiator to make it a bit more flexible, but also because it was freezing in those rooms and it was just a chance to get warm. Alright, many half-filled sketchbooks, don't know what anything is. So it is, oh, everything fell out. This dragon fruit here. So I really liked the punchiness of the pink background, but I don't, yeah, printing copies of this would eat up all my ink and I don't want to do that because I'm stingy. So I was thinking if I could paint, and I want to do this like more of a neon sort of pink actually as well. I bought some neon pink paint, and then either paint on the dragon fruit using a stamp to give me like a white background to work with, or carving the dragon fruit into the lino material and kind of, I guess, printing it. I don't know maybe if I'll do reduction ones because I don't know if I know how. I'll need to figure something out. It's Sunday, the 28th. It's been a couple of days. So today I think I'm ready to start carving the dragon fruit piece. So I've been making a couple of different neon colored pieces that I think eventually I would also like to turn into lino cut prints. So this is the dragon fruit piece we're going to work with. It's slightly different to the... oh, I did a yellow button as well. Slightly different to this one. I've just made the lines a little bit more chunkier, just because I think it would be a bit easier to carve. As for the actual colouring of the piece, so normally with lino cut blocks or prints you would use, I think, well, printing ink rather than paint, because you can get really dense pigmentation in a really thin layer by rolling it out. I think rather than buying jars of printing ink, I'm going to try to do it with acrylic and gouache and things I already own. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see. So, got a neon pink here, or fluoro pink. I'm going to use the sketchbook, which is a new one, but all the ones I'm currently in the middle of are just paper that can't really hold wet media. They're all just like pen and ink, colored pencil type of sketchbooks. Can take a Posca marker pretty well, but this is probably going to be a bit more indicative of the final result on, you know, high quality paper. As for size, I think, yeah, we'll go A5 for the actual piece, and then this is in half, so this is an A6 lino tile, I guess, so the design will go in here, and I think that's enough room to work with, and it is enough of a design and still have the background kind of background color be quite prominent as well. Alright, so I need to trace the design onto this. When I was doing it before, I was getting very confused with, like, did it need to be reversed? But then when I print it, is it going to be reversed or is it going to be the right way up? It's not that difficult, I was just overthinking things. So I'll have the design normally, I will reverse it onto the lino print so that when it prints the proper way. Not that hard, I don't know why I was getting so confused. Just realised my problem, I can't really see what I've done. Does that work? That kind of works. Is that enough for me to work with? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, ready to carve. Fixed up a little bit, a couple of areas that I didn't like, or were not clear or easily read, but yeah, the other thing I need to work out is, do I just want outlines and then I will hand paint the inside? Because if I use a reduction technique, it means I have to make all the additions or copies now. Which I don't know is something I want. I think I want to be able to make these on demand like any other print, but they will still be handmade and, you know, unique differences between each print or each edition. So I'm thinking maybe, yes, just outlines, and then that will be stamped onto the pre-painted page, and then I guess I will hand paint within the lines, but hopefully still be able to retain the texture of this that has been printed. So I need to carve out everything that is grey. The red is what I want to remain. Oh, it's so much harder to cut than rubber. Oh boy, this is going to be tricky. I thought it would be easier. It is not. Oh, this is going to hurt my fingers. I need the bigger tool. I don't know how to stop it from moving. That might be a problem. Okay. Once you get into it, it's a lot easier. I think just breaking that initial barrier is a little tricky. Am I going to scratch my table? Or break something. And this is different, very different feel to cutting the rubber stamps. The rubber stamps, very soft but very bouncy, if that makes sense. Like, it has a different kind of resistance than this. That made doing sharp edges and curves a bit tricky because it would want to kind of tear. So I'm hoping that that won't happen with this. Okay, we're just gonna have to work with this janky ass framing. It's been a couple of days, maybe about a week or so. I have just been kind of loosely working on doing some lino prints and stamp making. Really done just about 2 stamps, which I think I have shown. If not, they are this little bear, this little raccoon. What help me? It's kind of in focus. So these are done on rubber, and the ones that I've done on the linoleum, the design's going to be a bit hard to see with all the ink and paint, but we have a mushroom. It's this, and we have this one. You will not be able to tell what it is. Welcome back. My camera battery died, and my partner and I had made plans to do a whole bunch of gardening and, you know, do groceries, laundries. So it's been a couple of hours. Now, because my battery died, I think I was just talking through the lino cuts that I've done in the past week or so. I think this was the last one that I was talking about. I will show close-ups of the actual imprint, but this is a snake coiled up on itself. Now, this is quite small. This is, these two are half the size of an A6, so they're quite small prints, and the mushroom one, I think, is worked fine, but I think there was just a little bit too much detail with the snake. I'm not super confident using the smaller carving blade. I only have two sizes, and I prefer to use the wider tip, because sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm carving into the linoleum. It feels more like I'm just pushing into it. But some of the thin lines did register, so I think it's just getting used to the smaller blade, how it feels, and what sort of marks it makes. But yeah, definitely a bit more comfortable using the bigger piece. So I started doing these two because I didn't want to make a decision on the main one that I'm doing, which is this dragon fruit piece. So I would have spoken to, I mentioned it earlier, so I wanted to do prints in very saturated backgrounds, but that would destroy most of my ink supply in my printer. So this is kind of what I want it to look like, but I'm still a bit undecided as to how I want to go about doing the rest of the colors. So I've got some like yellow and greens that's meant to be the tips. I think, well, at this point I've kind of forced myself that I have to paint those in manually because I've carved it all away. But if I did do this again, maybe I would do the shapes or the rough shapes of where the yellow and the green were meant to be, and maybe just paint those onto the lino before making the print. So maybe this will just be a test print for now, until I make a decision as to what I want to do. So with the mushroom and the snake prints, I have done a couple of test runs. With the mushroom, not too bad. See, like, I really like the neon, and you can see in the background there as well. The use of neon paint, it's just a lot of fun. This is another one. I accidentally moved the stamp, I think, or it had too much paint, so it's a bit, it's not as crisp. And then this one was, I did the stamp first using the ink pad that I have that came with the rubber stamp kit, and then just painted the outside of it. And I really like this effect that's come through with the white in the center and the color around. So part of me is thinking, do I want to do the dragon fruit the same way and, you know, leave the interior, the dragon fruit white, have the outside neon pink? We'll probably have to do a couple of tests to see how that works out. This is the snake that I did before. Like, it can come through decently well. Like, I think it worked a lot better with the ink than any of the tests I had done with, you know, just manually painting on paint or gouache even, to get a proper relief, I guess. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So I think today will just be, you know, doing a couple of test prints with the dragon fruit, and hopefully making a decision as to how I want to proceed. Part of me just wants to keep drawing designs and carving designs onto the linoleum because it's really satisfying to carve and just kind of get lost in that process, which I guess is not a bad thing because there's definitely a lot of manual control I need to work on. Like I've definitely made a few nicks in the outline edges that I didn't want to do. And just to get better at probably using the thin blade, the thinner carving blade, to get more comfortable with how that feels and how that works. I've got a couple chunks cut out of A6 and A5 sizes from the big square that I got, so you know I can still make at least 4 or 5 more designs. But yeah, I think I've talked enough about what I've been doing in general over the last couple of weeks. I guess the rest of the footage will just be me doing more tests on the dragon fruit print. I do a couple of different mock-ups, but I guess we'll use that footage to take us out for the end of the video. It's quite a lengthy one, so if you did make it all the way to the end, thank you so much. Please say hello in the comments if you have. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time with the bear stamp video. Bye!